Hello YouTubers, this is Cessnaace back again with another video, a new comic arrivals video. Now, I didn't do one last week because the week prior to that, no comics came in. However, last week, over 160 did. So, I have a lot to show, including this. Those of you who are fans of the black and white magazine format horror comics from Warrent Publishing of the 60s and 70s, you'll get a kick out of this series. I read this issue and I loved it. In fact, I told my wife I'm going to have to hunt down back issues of this. This is issue 21. There's even a letter section in here like the old Warrens. As I believe I mentioned, an anthology series. So each of the stories are written by a different writer and drawn by a different artist. Even the lettering is different from story to story. I don't know that I picked the best example to show. Here we have the end of one story and the beginning of another. So you can see the contrasting art styles. Now they have back issues for sale, but some of them are rather pricey, so I might have to wind up getting them on eBay. Cover price $5.95. As with everything pre-ordered or subscribed to from Things Another World, I got a 20% discount. Now this sticker isn't always cooperating with me, unlike, as I've mentioned before, in previous videos, other stickers. It's staying rather nicely now, but I have opened this so many times. Absolutely love it. Highly recommended for fans of the old Warrens. Alright, something else came in magazine format from DC, their black label. This is Joker Harley, Criminal Sanity #1. Now, if I remember correctly, this is a 12-issue mini-series or limited series. I don't know if the remaining issues are going to be in magazine format or not. Obviously, this one is. Also received a trade paperback published by Archie. This is World of Archie Volume 1. Doesn't have Volume 1 anywhere on the cover, front or back, but it does on the interior. Now, Archie had a series in the 90s called World of Archie. If I remember correctly, there were 22 issues. This reprints issues 1, well, the stories in issues 1 through 11 in chronological order. It just so happens that the one issue I own in my collection is number 12. I highly anticipate that there's going to be a volume 2 of this, because they were able to reprint the first half of the series in this one volume, so that leaves the other half for a volume 2. Now, after, at some point, I finish reading that, I will begin reading Archie Comics Digest, issue 303. And Betty and Veronica Jumbo Comics Digest, number 277. These digests, by the way, are not inexpensive. $7.99 is the cover price on each one of these. Alright, in addition to the 101 comics that I received from Things from Another World, I received 61 comics from a seller on eBay. What he was selling were lots of 20 independent comics. One of the comics, though, was still sealed in a bag, and it came with a second comic that was free and some trading cards. That's further in. But I mention that because the first thing I'm going to show you is one of those independent comics. This is issue 1 of 803, published by 803 Comics. This is a black and white title. It's taken quite a bit of time to list everything at Patreon/Cessnaace, link in the description box, for everything that came in last week. Everything that's scheduled to go out this week, even more challenging. More. This is Amazing Fantasy, and it's issue 15. Okay, from AfterShock Comics, issue 24 of Animosity. Okay, these next two came in one of those lots. This is Anne Rice's The Mummy or Ramses the Damned. Now, it doesn't have the issue number on the front. Has it on the back. I've gone ahead and written the issue number on the back of the backing board. This is issue 9. So another Anne Rice title that I have to now complete. This is issue 11. Published by Millennium, by the way. Okay, back to Things from Another World. This is Archie 55 number 1. This is a 5-issue miniseries. And as I believe I've mentioned in previous videos, I tend to gravitate towards covers that have a movie tie-in theme or movie theme. That's when they're posing honestly outside of a movie theater, because behind them is a movie poster. And apparently it's called King Riverdale, starring Archie Andrews. Well, and I would guess Veronica. What, no Betty? Alright, this is Archie Halloween Spectacular. No issue number, so I'm guessing this is a one-shot. Okay, back to one of the eBay lots. I'm going to stop mentioning which ones are which. This is Bad Medicine. And this is the free Comic Book Day edition. I made the mistake of reading this, and now I want to read the other issues in this series, so I'm going to have to hunt them down. The same goes for this one. This one's not in the price guide. I looked. From Beckett. Although there are titles from Beckett in the comic book price guide. But I couldn't find this one. This is The Ballad of Sleeping Beauty, number 1. Free Comic Book Day edition. Now the price guide does usually list free Comic Book Day editions, but this title I couldn't find at all. Two other titles from Beckett. It starts with these two characters at the gallows, being ready to be hung, and the governor postpones the execution because he wants to be there, but the mayor of the town decides not to cut them down or to let them, go back to jail in the interim. So they have to stand up there. And the story of one of the characters and how he wound up in that position is told in a flashback. Found this interesting as well. For those of you who want to keep up with what I read, I publish a list of everything that I read at Patreon/Cessnaace. It only costs $1, and then you get access to everything. McElligott. I thought I would mention him because he actually posted a comment to my most recent Patreon post. Alright, this is a 100-page giant from DC. Number 1, Batman, cover price $4.99. Okay, from Image Comics, this is issue 2 of Battle Pug. I guess I can start reading this series now. I have the first 2 issues. I went with 2 different covers. Now, I always am very careful when I file them, although I'm known to make mistakes. I file them in order: A cover, B cover, C cover, D cover, or A cover, C cover, E cover. However, I don't get every cover except on some titles, and even that I'm going to have to cut way back on doing that. Okay, this is a one-shot from Dynamite. It is the Halloween special of Betty Page. Same issue, different cover. Okay, issue 1 from Dynamite of Black Terror. Alright, this is issue 4 from Titan Comics of Blade Runner 2019. When Titan Comics first started, I was under the impression from what I read in articles that it was merely a platform to publish Doctor Who comics. That's when IDW lost the license, when Titan was formed. But they published a lot of other things, as it turns out. This is, well, if it's a free Comic Book Day edition, I got it off of eBay. This is Broken Trinity Prelude, part of the Top Cow universe. Okay, this is the main cover of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, HELLMOUTH, which is a 5-issue limited series. This is the main cover, if I forgot to mention that. The main covers all have the same design element. This is the variant cover. If you want to know the name of the artist for each of the covers, I list all that at Patreon/Cessnaace. Okay, this is another cover of the same issue. This is a connecting cover variant. Okay, from IDW, issue 5 of Kanto. Alright, I started to read this one and found that it is damaged. I'm going to have to do something about that on the interior anyway. This is from American Mythology, Casper's Haunted Halloween #1. Now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't really look damaged. Maybe I'm thinking of a different Casper title. Well, I'm not seeing any damage, so never mind. While they do publish titles that contain all new material with Casper, this looks like it is full of reprints. For example, Casper's Capers is one of their titles that features reprints. Casper's Ghostland features mostly new stories with one reprint. Haven't even made a dent. Okay, from Olio, issue 15 of Castle Waiting, Interiors, Part 1. If you see a generic piece of tape on the back, I didn't get it from Things from Another World. Okay, this is issue 2 of 4 of Chimera. Issue 3. My next video will probably be dealing with Things from Another World and what they did to result in me winding up with my next shipment totaling almost $900. It wasn't just me. Anyway, Codename Firearm #4 from Malibu Comics. From Image, #1 of Copra. Is that how you would pronounce that? Alright, this is from Code 6 Comics, issue 5 of The Crossovers. And issue 6. Okay, from AfterShock. This is Dark Arc After the Flood, issue 1. And I think I must be subscribed to titles from every publisher there is. This is issue 2 of Dark Wolf. I'm trying to remember if I found this one in the price guide. I don't think I did. From Malibu. All of their titles are listed, but who knows, I could be wrong anyway. This is another 100-page giant, issue 1, cover price $4.99. Villains. Right, from Image, issue 1 of Dead Eyes. From A Wave Blue World, issue 1, the premiere edition, it redundantly says, of Dead Legends. Is this the same cover or a different cover? I'm not going to pull the first one back out and check. I did wind up with a couple of duplicates for things in this last shipment. Still trying to figure out why that happens occasionally. Okay, this is a free comic book day edition from Dynamite of the Death-Defying Devil. Right. I'm thinking this is Die. I'm going to double check. When it comes to things like this, I don't trust myself because I'm dyslexic, as I've mentioned. Well, it says it's issue 8 of Legacy Heroes. But I am subscribed to a title called Die, and I'm subscribed to another one called Die, Die, Die. I don't know why it said Legendary Heroes at the front, because in the indices it says that this is issue 8 of Die. Haven't started reading these yet because I'm missing the first several issues. Okay, this is the longest running comic book series in history, although it has changed publishers half a dozen times. And most of the publishers that have published this title have called it, well, Disney's. IDW apparently has a different set of guidelines. They publish it as Disney Comic and Stories, but for decades and decades and decades and decades, it was Walt Disney's Comics and Stories. This is issue 7, cover price $5.99. Far cry from when Western Publishing was publishing it under their Gold Key and Whitman imprints for 12 cents. Alright, this is issue 2 from Burly Man of Doc Frankenstein. Issue 3. Issue 5. 58.9 pages of story in just 32 pages. Do the math. Reminds me of the old commercials for the Atari Jaguar. Do the math. Must be trying to sell me a game console, not ask me to do math. This is from Millennium, issue 3 of Doc Savage. Yes, those comics slid over. So that means I have to unslide them. Alright, this is issue 4. Okay, first I was going to question the seller, calling this published by an independent. This is Dr. Spectrum #1 from Max Comics, because Max Comics is Marvel. But hey, I decided to let it go. Alright, I am building up a large collection of comics with a cover price of $1. New comics, I mean. Marvel's line is True Believers. DC's line is Dollar Comics. This is Dollar Comics, the Joker. Of course, after the 20% discount, this cost me 80 cents. This is Dollar Comics Watchmen #1. My question is, are they losing money doing this, or can they still make a profit publishing comics for $1? And if they can still make a profit publishing comics at $1, why are some comics $5.99 or $4.99? This is from Ahoy Comics. This is issue 1 of season 2 of Edgar Allan Poe's Snifter of Terror. I've read this, and Hitler's not in the story. But there is a story. This is comprised of several short stories. The Telltale Black Cask of Usher. I believe Charlton started off publishing this title. This is issue 3 from First Comics of E-Man. Issue 1 from Alpha Productions, E-Man. This is from Lone Star Press, which I checked. Yet another comic book publisher based in Austin, Texas. Ex parte, I guess. It's not a mark over the E. But issue 1, if I didn't already say. You also have Radio Comics and Antarctic Press, based in Austin. Right, issue 1 from Marvel of White Fox. Actually, the reason this has come up now is the actual title is Future Fight Firsts, White Fox. That's #1. This is the variant edition of #1. Okay, this is a comic book based on a television series that was created by Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, but he couldn't get it off the ground while he was still alive. After he died, it was produced. This comic book, published by Tekno Comics, with an X, Gene Roddenberry's Lost Universe, issue 7. I have vague memories of seeing one episode of the series, but beyond that, I couldn't tell you anything. Right from Boombox, one of the many imprints of Boom Studios, Ghosted in L.A., issue 4. There's also Kaboom, Kablam, or Kaboom, and Archaea. Another cover. From Boom Studios, this is issue 24 of Go Go Power Rangers. I'm trying to get as far as I can because I've got over 200 shipping later in the week. They're supposed to, if Thanks Another World doesn't do it to me again. This is from Antarctic Press, issue 267 of Gold Digger. I used to read this title way back when. From Comico, issue 31 of Grendel. Although I seem to remember it was also published at one time by First Comics, but I may be misremembering. This is issue 32. From Zenoscope. This is a one-shot. Grim Fairy Tales 2019 Horror Pinup Special. That's the back. Just page after page of pinups. I'm going to have to end soon, aren't I? Alright, this is from an imprint that I believe was part of Archie, JC Productions. This is Hall of Fame Thunder Agents, #1. This is issue 15 of Ice Cream Man from Image. And if I remember correctly, I have another cover of the same issue. Alright, this is from Topps Comics, issue 4 of 4. This is Jack Kirby's Teen Agents. And I believe this is one of the comics that was in that bag that came with trading cards. From Topps, of course. Makers of trading cards. First of all, That is card 1. This is card 2. And this is card 3. So I'm doubting whether they actually had other in the series, I mean, like a 4 and a 5 and a 6, because these were all sequential. And yes, they were loose in the comic bag, along with the other comic that was in that bag. Okay, from Archie, Jughead the Hunger versus Vampironica, number 5. Same issue, different cover. Alright, this is from Homage Comics, H-O-M-A-G-E, Kurt Busak's Astro City, number 18. That's how I found it, because it's not only that way on the cover, but in the indices as well. And this is issue 21. Alright, this concludes this 2-issue miniseries from American Mythology, part of the Edgar Rice Burroughs universe. This is referred to at the Things from Another World site as The Land That Time Forgot 1975, because this 2-issue series adapted the movie. This is kind of a small comic from AKF Comics. Lent McCree Mysteries. I couldn't find this one either in the price guide. This is, I believe Man Eaters is the name of the series, from Image. I bought it because the cover is done in the style of the Little Golden Books covers, which I also collect them. There's one way to find out. That's the back. Because this includes playing pieces and such for a game. This was purely a impulse purchase, and I'm going to end this video here, even though I'm not even halfway through this box. But just in case those comics that are supposed to ship at the end of this week don't wind up shipping, because Things from Another World did that to me last time. The shipment that was supposed to go out on the 23rd was moved to the 30th. And that made that shipment even larger, and then they moved stuff that was supposed to go out on the 6th of November up to the shipment that goes out on the 30th, which is why it's over $900. Alright, until next time, and probably a part 2 of this video, stay awesome.